Hey everyone, it's Sarah from Apricot Polkadot, and today I'm going to show you my latest temperature blanket crochet square, but it's not just a square, it's actually a square with a circle inside it. And as you can see, we've got 2 layers of circles within a square, and the reason I'm doing this is so that I can do my temperature blanket showing the high temperature in the circles and the low temperature in the square. So I wanted to be able to show high and low this year with my crochet blanket. So to make this, you're going to actually end up with 17 across, 21 down. That's kind of that's how you're going to measure. You're going to need 17 squares across, 21 down to get the right length for this. If I'm measuring with my measurements and with the yarn I'm using and my crochet hook size, it should end up being about 51 inches by 63 inches. So a pretty good throw size. I feel like they always turn out to be a little bigger than I expect, but we'll see how that goes at the end. Each square measures approximately 2 3/4 inches to about 3 inches. So it should end up being about the right size. So I love this yarn for this whole project. I really love the color variety and the softness of this yarn from Hobby Lobby. So I'm using that for all of this project. As you can see on the back side here, it shows that you need a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, which is what I am going to be using for this whole project as well. So you're going to also need to have a number of colors of this yarn. I will post my colors on my website so that you can see which colors I'm using. It does have a wide variety of temperatures where I live. So we will range everywhere from 0 to over 100 through the year. So if you live in a place where it doesn't get quite as cold or quite as hot, you may need to modify that a little bit to fit your own temperatures. So to start, we're just going to get on our hook here. And I'm not going to go over the basics of crochet in this one. This I just kind of made my little slip knot, put that on the crochet hook. This I'm really just going to mostly show you how to do this particular circle square pattern. So we're going to begin by doing chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to join this and we're going to make this into a circle. We're going to go back into this first chain and we're going to grab our yarn and just pull it through, creating like a slip stitch there. And see how we've made a circle? That is where we're actually going to stitch. We're going to stitch into the center of this circle, so right into here for the next row on our circle. So now to start our next row, we're going to do a chain 3. And this becomes our first stitch. This acts as our first double crochet. Now we're going to continue to do 11 double crochets around this circle, all going through our center circle. So remember, there's our little center circle. We're going to do 11 double crochets to end up with a total of 12, counting that first chain 3. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to keep going, but you can see we're just going straight into that center circle. I'm going to keep going until I end up with 12 total, and then we'll catch back up. Okay, so I just did my 12 total stitches, and that's including that first chain 3 we count as a stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 total. So now we're going to go into the top stitch of our chain 3, and we're going to do another slip stitch where we just grab from under and pull through to seal off that first circle. So we've got 1 layer of our circle right there. So now we're going to start our second row of our circle. And we're going to do this the same way we started our first. We're going to chain 3, and this is going to count as our first double crochet. And I also like to bring up my end on the back for this part too, to try to gather it in there so it's not just hanging loose. So I sort of hold it with my fingers in the back to just sort of grab it as I go along. So now we had 12 double crochets in this first round, and now we're going to actually have 12 sets of 2 double crochets in the second. We're going to work 2 double crochets into every stitch from before. So this one counts as 1, our chain 3. So now we're going to double crochet into the same stitch where we worked before. See, I'm also grabbing that tail from behind. And so now we have 2 double crochet into that first stitch. And then we're going to work 2 into the next stitch. So now you can see here there's like the front side and the back side to our stitch. We're working just into the back part because I like the texture that it gives it on the front. When you can see the just kind of a little, it makes a little circle pattern on the front a little more pronounced. And so we're working just into the back part of the stitch. So there was 2 more into that second stitch. Now we're going to work into our third. 1, 2. And again, we're going to keep doing this all the way around. So we will end up with a total of 24 stitches, including this first chain 3, and 12 sets of 2. So I'm going to continue to do that, and then we'll continue in a minute. Okay, so now we have 24 total stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Perfect. And again, we're going to end this same circle like we have the others, where we just are going to go into our first or the top of our chain 3 and make a slip stitch. Put your and I should probably explain this a little better too. We go through with our hook, we grab our yarn, just pull that yarn all the way through just to make a complete circle. And then we're going to cut our yarn and pull the yarn all the way through just like that. So now we have our complete circle for our high temperature for each day. Now to do the low temperature, we are going to take our low temperature color, so I'm going to use a darker color for this, and we are going to go into the top of one of those double crochets. So remember how we did just the back half of the double crochet stitch with the circle? We're going to do the same thing when we make this square as well. We're going to just kind of grab our yarn, basically like doing a slip stitch, just to kind of grab our yarn, but we're not pulling it all the way through. We want to leave a tail so that we have somewhere to knot it and somewhere to begin our stitching. So I'm going to actually tie these 2 ends in a knot just to make it secure. And then we're going to try to hide these ends as well while we're stitching along so that they aren't visible from either side. So we're going to begin this side by chaining 2, just 2 this time, not 3, because we don't want our square to actually be that large. So we just chained 2. And now we're going to do 1 double crochet into that same stitch. So that chain 2 counts as a stitch, but we're gonna do that right into the beginning stitch there. Okay, now this is where it gets a little different than our circle, obviously, as we're making a different shape. So now we're going to chain 2. This is actually going to be making one of our corners for us. So we chain 2, and then we're going to do 2 double crochet into the next stitch. So we did 2 double crochet into the first stitch, then we chained 2. Now we're doing 2 more double crochet, there's 1, into the next stitch to create a corner. So that chain 2 in the middle is going to be one of our corner sides, if you can sort of see where that's going to be. Now we're going to do a half double crochet into the next stitch. So a half double crochet, you begin like a crochet, so you yarn over and then you insert into your stitch, pull through, but now instead of doing yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, you're going to just pull through all 3 of those stitches on your hook to create a half double crochet. So I'm going to try to pull my yarn kind of tight there, just tighten that up, but that is a half double crochet, so it isn't as tall as a double crochet. And then we're going to single chain, single crochet, I said single chain, single crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to single crochet into our next stitch. And again, you can see me holding these tails. They're kind of a nuisance right now, but they will be gone soon, and then we don't have to worry about them anymore. Now we're going to half double crochet again. So remember, half double crochet, we yarn over, insert into our stitch. Let me try to move these tails so you can better see that. So I'm inserting into the stitch, then we grab our yarn, pull through that stitch, oops, okay, and then we pull through all 3. So we don't do yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, all 3 at the same time. And then we're going to do 2 double crochet into the next stitch. So now that is actually an entire 1, 2. That is an entire side there, one whole length of our square. So we haven't done this corner yet, but you can see that we've done this whole side. So that's why we get kind of smaller to make it straight to account for that straight side and for the circle. So the corner, we have the corners with that double crochets, and we do a half double crochet to get a little bit smaller, single crochets in the center, another half double crochet, and then 2 double crochets. Now that is just going to be repeated. So we chain 2 again to make our corner, 2 double crochet into the next stitch, and now we have 2 corners. So now if you remember, what we did is we now do our half double crochet, 2 single crochets, half double crochet. That's always in the middle. So we're going to start with our half double crochet, yarn over, go through the stitch, pull through all 3 loops, single crochet, single crochet, half double crochet, 2 double crochet into the next one, chain 2, then 2 double crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet, single crochet, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, double crochet into the same stitch, chain 2, double crochet, double crochet. We're almost to the end. You can see that it's taking shape, so now we just have to do that inside those small stitches. So we do 1 half double crochet, 1 single crochet, another single crochet, and then our final stitch is 1 more half double crochet, and then we're going to join it again at the top of our next stitch. Actually, I think I just got that into the side of it. So we want to go into the top of the first chain 2, slip stitch. We're going to cut our yarn off. Oops. Pull through that, and there we go. So my tension was a little bit off on some of those as I was demonstrating for the camera. But you can see how you get your square with your circle inside. And then I will be stitching these together as I go. Like each day I'm going to actually stitch together because it's hard to keep track of which one goes to what day. It's just easier and it's overwhelming if you save it all for the end. So I like to just do it as I go. I stitch from the back side, I stitch together, and you want to make sure that these are fairly tight knots and that you're stitching those in as well so that they don't come loose. But that's how we're going to do it. And you can find all of this pattern on my website and my color choices on my website. If you don't even know what in the heck a temperature blanket is, you can also check out my website where I have my designs and patterns from the last few years as well as some cross stitch patterns too. So I hope you enjoy. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure you check out my website for more crafting goodness.